So, let's talk about Elizabeth. Oh, we all know Elizabeth. She's that woman who lives down the street a ways. She's got a nice family, 3 kids, pretty much all grown now with their own kids too. She's always out and about, busy with her family. Her husband, he's the quiet one. He sits around at home most. I think he retired early. Now, we think we know Elizabeth, but we really don't. Because no one knows what's going on behind the doors and the windows of all those houses in the row that look the same. We know that, but it's hard to believe sometimes. You see, Elizabeth has come to the point in her life when she has to make big decisions. And all this is happening in the year 2020 with coronavirus breathing down everyone's necks and making any decision from the simplest to the most difficult 100 times harder. Elizabeth is not quite what she seems to be. The family part, pretty much good, but you see, there's a problem there. Because one of the children was not a child born to her, but was a child of her husband's, So she wasn't accepting this problem very easily at first. You think by now, because she's no longer a young woman in the first flush of youth, you think by now she had accepted that. And mostly she has, but the son in question, named Aaron, he's always had a real problem with this because no one told him the truth at the beginning. Now, Elizabeth has those responsibilities related to family, but also she has an elderly mother who's living alone in a big old house that's getting more run down by the minute. A house out in the country, not really accessible to any of her family. And in truth, her family has now come down to only Elizabeth. She was an only child. Her mother is Sadie Goodwin, and Elizabeth has Goodwin as her middle name. And it looks like she's the last of the line. Her father's already gone. Now this responsibility for Sadie is weighing heavily on Elizabeth. And she doesn't really understand until Elizabeth has to go there and spend some time with her mother, a thing that over the years she has done for various reasons. But most recently, she realizes her mother is fading fast. It's almost like the house itself, a big, rambling old house that must once have been incredible looking. It's fading about the same time as its owner. Elizabeth has to take on responsibilities for her mother and for her mother's wishes. Her mother has an idea that this old house should be sold, and some of the treasures in it that have been there for generations should be sold also. This is a big responsibility and requires a lot of changes in Elizabeth's life. But it's the personal stuff that really gets you in the heart. Elizabeth is not happy in her marriage. She has to decide if she's going to continue on like this with the kids all gone, or is she going to try to make a better life for herself. She's carried a secret in her heart, and that one is simple. She has her best ever friend who lives in Florida, and she and Eileen had made a pact years ago that they would eventually make the change and be together in Florida and live a happy life together. Elizabeth has hoped for this, but in the year of COVID-19, that's not going to happen. Florida is a hot spot. So where is she going to go, and what is she going to do, and how is she going to solve the number of problems that she has? You see, Elizabeth is not all that she appears to be. She's got some big choices to make. Fortunately, her first daughter, Opal, is a real help and resource to her. But her third child, her second daughter, Barbara, is another story altogether. She doesn't know what her husband's been getting onto when he's been traveling in his coach touring job. So lots of things happen in this first book. Yes, Elizabeth's my main character in a new series. The first book is called Family Matters, and the new series is called Home Truths. Yep, it's going to be pretty hard hitting. You're not going to like Elizabeth sometimes, but other times you'll have a lot of sympathy for her. And you could almost guess that the second book in this series is about the family secrets. If you think that this house has something to do with it, well, yeah, it does. And what is found in this house, in the attic particularly, turns everybody's life in Elizabeth's family upside down. I hope you'll enjoy it. I'm certainly enjoying writing this series, and it's caused me to do a lot of thinking about life too. Maybe that'll happen when you read it. I kind of